Have you ever felt like an option for someone? Like you were available, but never fully chosen? Like they wanted you close, but not enough to really stay? Today, I'm here to tell you something clear. You are not here to beg for love. You are here to be seen as a luxury, not something to be used and put away, but as a presence to be valued, cared for, and respected. And it's not about pretending or manipulating, it's about activating certain psychological keys that awaken that respect, that admiration, and that deep attraction that never fades. So, if you're ready to stop being just another and become the one who makes the difference, let's go together. 1. I have an interesting life without needing him. There is something deeply magnetic about a woman who has a life she's passionate about, not because it's full of plans, but because it's full of purpose, and that is felt. Many men are used to women who revolve around them, who wait for them, who need them, who get bored if they're not around. But when they meet a woman who is not emotionally available all the time because she's busy living a meaningful life, they get confused. Because you're not waiting for someone to complete you, you are already complete, and that energy can't be faked. A woman who has her world, her friends, her projects, her personal growth, her dreams emits a different vibration. It's the energy of someone who's not looking for a savior, but a partner, and that is luxury. Moreover, when you are happy on your own, when you enjoy your routine, when you invest in yourself, your well-being, your evolution, it shows in your eyes, in your walk, in what you allow and what you no longer tolerate. And the best part? Having an interesting life protects you from unhealthy attachment because you're not depending on a man to have emotions, to feel alive, to validate yourself. You're with someone because you want to be, not because you need to be. And that difference changes everything. He may like you, of course, but he is not your center. You are your center. And that, dear, is what makes you unforgettable. So invest in yourself, learn something new, laugh more, exercise no for aesthetics, but for self-love. Travel even if it's close by. Make your days shine with or without a partner. Because when you are busy being happy with yourself, he begins to wonder, how do I become part of her world without disturbing the magic? 2. Master the art of mystery. There is an unwritten rule that the most unforgettable women know well. Luxury is not shouted, it's hinted at. We live in an era of overexposure, social media, selfies, long messages, sharing every detail of your life, what you think, what you feel. And that's where many lose their charm, because mystery is power. A woman who doesn't reveal everything, who doesn't overflow from the start, who keeps parts of herself for those who truly earn them, generates something few achieve: emotional intrigue. And no, it's not playing games, manipulating, or hiding who you are. It's respecting yourself enough not to give your soul away to anyone who asks. When you don't rush to explain your past, justify your wounds, or reveal your plans, you awaken something very deep in the male mind, the desire to discover you. And that's where his real connection with you begins. Because what is easy, obvious, and given without filter is valued less. What requires attention, listening, and time is appreciated more. Also, a woman who knows how to keep silence at the right moment, who doesn't react to every stimulus, who lets others interpret her, becomes magnetic. He begins to think of you even when you're not speaking. He starts looking for signs, wanting to understand you, imagining. And in that process, he gets hooked. Remember, not everyone deserves to know your scars. Not everyone deserves access to your inner world. And you don't need to tell every detail to connect. Sometimes saying less says more. So stop over-explaining. Let some parts of you reveal themselves only when there's real trust. Because a woman who shows herself with measure leaves a mark. And a woman who keeps a little mystery never becomes boring. They look at you and think, there's something about her I can't figure out, and I can't stop thinking about it. That, dear, is true luxury. 3. Take care of your presence and energy. Listen to this, beautiful. Luxury is not always the most expensive. Sometimes it's simply what feels different. And you can be that woman who, without saying a word, commands respect and desire at the same time. How? With your presence? And no, we're not just talking about makeup, clothes, or perfect hairstyles. We're talking about something deeper: your energy, the way you enter a room, the way you are. Because you can wear designer clothes, but if your body screams insecurity, if your voice trembles, if you make yourself small to avoid bothering anyone, you lose presence. In contrast, a woman who cares for her body language, her gaze, her tone of voice, her walk leaves a mark. A woman who moves calmly, who doesn't need to shout to be heard, who enters a place not seeking approval, but with certainty that she is enough, that woman feels like a luxury. Do you know why? Because the world is full of noise, but few know how to project silent confidence. And that is power. Take care of your posture, straight back, chin up. Take care of your voice, no too high or too low. Use pauses, look into people's eyes, and above all, take care of your energy. Let it come not from fear, but from self-love. Remember, the way you treat yourself is reflected in how you move, and others perceive that. It's not vanity, it's awareness. Your presence is your calling card. Make it say, I am complete. I don't need to prove it, but I won't hide it either. When you behave like a woman who knows her worth, you don't have to ask for attention, you attract it. And that, dear, is priceless. 4. Say no without guilt. Beautiful, listen carefully. One of the most powerful ways to make yourself seen as a luxury and not a disposable option is this: learn to say no. And not just say it, but hold it firmly and without guilt. Because every time you accept something you don't want, every time you give in just to avoid conflict, every time you say yes with your mouth but no with your soul, you send a silent message. My boundaries don't matter. My peace is negotiable. You allow others to step on you, and you step aside, and that, my love, will never put you in the place you deserve. There are men who don't test you out of malice, but out of habit, because many women have told them yes out of fear of losing them. But you are not many women, you are you. And that is why you don't have to be anything but sacred. Because when a woman dares to set limits without shouting, begging, or endless explanations, that is felt and respected. A no from self-love imposes a no with dignity. It educates. And a well-said no enchants. The key: don't say it from anger, say it from clarity, from the place where you know your worth and won't accept less. Don't apologize for not wanting the same as he does. Don't feel guilty for having your own standards. And don't think saying no makes you lose someone. On the contrary, it makes you win yourself. And when you choose yourself, the world notices, men feel it, and they see you as what you area luxury that not everyone can reach. 5. Don't react, choose to respond. Write this on your heart. A woman who reacts loses control. A woman who responds commands respect. Many men, especially immature ones, or those used to manipulating, seek to provoke reactions. They say hurtful things, disappear for days, ignore you on purpose, or do things just to see if they can get a rise out of you. Do you know why? Because they want to know how much power they have over you. And if you fall, if you get angry, if you make scenes, if you give them all your time and energy trying to understand or confront them, they win. because now you revolve around their behavior. But you're not here to react like a hurt child. You're here to respond like a woman who knows herself, who chooses herself, and who won't be manipulated. Learn this: not everything deserves a response. And often, silence is the most elegant and powerful answer you can give. When you keep calm, when you don't reply immediately to that hello at 2 a.m., when you don't complain but simply walk away with dignity, he feels your value. Because a woman who doesn't play the game changes the rules. Your strategic indifference is not cold but conscious is a clear message. I'm not here to chase anyone. Whoever wants me must know how to treat me. It's not about ignoring him out of pride, it's about honoring your peace with wisdom. And that, beautiful, makes you seen as a luxury not everyone can reach. So next time they try to provoke you, take a deep breath. Don't explain, don't beg, don't exhaust yourself. Look, smile, and choose not to move. Because luxury doesn't shout, doesn't react, doesn't beget, simply rises. 6. Make them miss you, not just find you. Always beautiful. Listen carefully. A woman who is always available stops being desired, not because she's not enough, but because abundance is taken for granted and scarcity is treasured. If every time he writes you, you answer immediately. If every time he looks for you, you're there without thinking. If he can have you with just a snap of his fingers, then he's not valuing you, he's just locating you. And you are not here to be locatable, you're here to be unforgettable. It's not about playing games, ignoring him as strategy, or manipulating. It's about understanding something very powerful. Well-dosed absence creates desire. Take pauses. Disappear at times. Dedicate time to your things, your passions, your beauty rituals, your friends, your world. Don't explain, don't justify, just live. And when you come back, do so with more light, more energy, and more strength, so he understands he can't have you whenever he wants, but that he must deserve you. Because a woman who loves herself doesn't give herself entirely to the first who shows interest. A woman who values herself becomes a treasure, and a treasure is not left within everyone's reach. So next time you feel the urge to answer quickly, to be available, to run to him, stop, breathe, remember this. You don't get more loved by always being present. You become more desired when your presence becomes a privilege, not a habit. Make them miss you. Make them imagine you. Make them wonder what you're doing, who you're with, what you're thinking. Because when a woman becomes a mystery that appears and disappears with grace, she becomes a luxury nobody wants to lose. 7. Take care of your verbal and emotional language. Beautiful. What you say about yourself, even, jokingly becomes part of your identity, and the world, especially men, perceives it. If you go through life saying things like, "I'm hard to love," "with my character, I always get left," "love never works out for me," even if you don't believe it, you're programming yourself for that. And not only that, you're teaching others how to treat you. A woman who expresses herself with insecurity, fear, resignation loses shine, power, magic. But when a woman cares about her language, when she speaks about herself with respect, love, and confidence that is felt, and it imposes. Because the way you speak not only reveals your self-esteem but also builds your reality. Every time you say, "I'm worth a lot, I know what I deserve, I don't accept less than what I give," you send a clear message. I'm awake, I'm firm, I'm complete. And that kind of woman doesn't settle for crumbs. She doesn't get caught up in half-hearted relationships. She doesn't apologize for being intense, sensitive, or passionate. Speak like you are a luxury because you are. A luxury doesn't apologize for shining. It doesn't lower itself to be accepted. It doesn't label itself with insecurity. So next time you want to say something that minimizes you, change it. Instead of, "I'm complicated," say, "I'm deep." Instead of, "Sure, he'll leave," say, "If he doesn't stay, it's because he doesn't know what he has in front of him." Remember this always. Your language creates your energy, and your energy creates your attraction. Speak like a woman who knows her worth, and the world will respond accordingly. 8. Let yourself be chosen, but you also choose. Beautiful. There's something many women forget. When you like someone, you're not waiting to be chosen as if you were a prize on display. You also choose. You also evaluate. You also decide. When a woman focuses only on making him like her, on being enough for him to stay, she loses her center. And when you lose your center, you lose power. Luxury doesn't beg. Luxury doesn't compete. Luxury doesn't wait to be validated. A woman who sees herself as an emotional luxury knows that love is not an audition, not a competition to see who stays with him. It's a dance between two people who choose each other mutually and consciously. He can invite you into his life, yes, but you also decide if you want to stay. You also observe, how does he speak to me? How does he treat me when he has nothing to gain? Does he have values, character, a life vision? Does he add to me or consume me? That selective energy is powerful because it positions you as a woman who doesn't get carried away just by desire, chemistry, or let's see what happens. When you choose from your dignity, from your emotional wisdom, you are the one who sets the standards and that changes everything. Because the man who's worth it, you don't scare away with your standards, you inspire him to raise his. So it's not about waiting to be chosen. It's about building relationships where both look each other in the eye and say, "You and I choose each other with everything and with respect." That is the true connection between equals, not from need, but from freedom. 9. Love yourself so much that any mediocre treatment makes you allergic. Beautiful. When you become your priority, something changes forever. You no longer tolerate lukewarmness, half measures, or anything that doesn't vibe with your worth. Self-love isn't just a pretty concept, it's an energy that's felt, noticed, and imposes itself. And when you treat yourself like a luxury, with respect, delicacy, and care, everything that isn't up to that standard bothers you, makes you uncomfortable, gives you emotional allergies. Why? Because you can no longer pretend not to notice. Because you're no longer emotionally hungry to settle for crumbs. Because you know who you are and how much you're worth. So when someone gives you excuses instead of attention, when someone shows up only when it suits them, when they want you sometimes, or in secret, when they don't have the courage to give you what you deserve, you don't cry, don't beg, don't insist you leave, with love, but you leave. And that is the magic of a woman who loves herself. No one can manipulate her with empty words. No one can sell her love on credit. Luxury doesn't lower itself. Luxury doesn't haggle. Luxury doesn't beg. And you, when you truly love yourself, become that woman who doesn't stay where she doesn't feel chosen, honored, valued. Because it's not arrogance. It's emotional health. It's knowing that your peace, your time, and your energy are not given out of anxiety. So love yourself so much that if someone comes with games, absences, or doubts, you feel it as an allergy. And without drama, you walk away. Because you're not here to beg for affection, you're here to share love, but the good kind. Beautiful. I want you to keep this with you. You are not just another. You are not a consolation prize or a pastime to fill empty spaces. You are a unique, complete woman who builds herself day by day with love, respect, and care for herself. When you learn to inhabit yourself with love, when you look at yourself and recognize your real worth, the world notices. Your energy changes. Your presence is felt, and your power becomes undeniable. And those who don't see it simply stay out, because you have no time or space for those who don't truly value you. This is the magic of being a woman, knowing that true power isn't in pleasing or begging for attention, but in honoring yourself, choosing yourself first, and not accepting less than you deserve. So today, I invite you to keep cultivating that inner strength, to love yourself a little more every day, to care for yourself more, and to respect yourself more. Because you deserve to be surrounded by people who see you as the luxury you are. If this video reminded you of your power, give it a like, subscribe, and let me know in the comments which of these keys resonated with you the most. We're here to grow together, to heal wounds, and to never settle for less than your worth again. See you in the next one, beautiful. Keep shining with all your light.